I find nutrition overwhelming with all the low-fat, sugar-free, free foods, all that stuff. That's a question I had the other day. And that she mentioned that one of the ladies we're working with mentioned that she'd rather just be told exactly kind of what to do, right? And I get that. It seems... And that has a place, by the way. Good morning, Pauline. How are we doing? Give me a hello if you're coming in. Give me a replay if you're coming in on replay. And it's good to be told exactly what to do sometimes. That's a tool in a toolbox to a bigger thing. But what I want to talk about today is kind of breaking through this overwhelm and how to get started. So a week on Wednesday, I decided about a minute ago, I'm going to do a talk all about how carbs, protein and fats, what happens when you eat them, how to get more energy, how to create a nutrition plan for you and what happens in the body when you eat them, so you can break through this fear and these beliefs that often we gain from trying different diets, which is fine. It's good to do things. You have to just try stuff. Otherwise, you'll always be thinking FOMO, the fear of missing out. Oh, what happened if I'd have tried that diet? Should I try that diet? And that's what we do. That's often why we never get started. Is we're wondering what the best diet is for us. So a week on Wednesday, I'm going to be doing that. If you want that, if you want to come in on that, it's going to be live, by the way, on a Wednesday evening, not this Wednesday, the Wednesday after. I'll confirm the time. But if you wanted to be informed on that, do comment below with nutrition, and I'll let you know where you need to be for that, just to make sure you're in on that. But I'm going to be talking about carbs, fats and protein, what happens in the body when you eat them, digest them, how they utilize, how this may impact your hunger levels, etc. The success of your diet, why, busting a lot of myths in there, because like I said, often we take a little bit of, morning Joss, we take a little bit of a belief from each diet. So let's take free foods, for example. One diet might say you can eat as many potatoes as you want or as many XYZ as you want. And technically there's no truth in that any food is technically free. And here's how I'll describe it. Let's say I go into Waitrose over there. And let's say for this example, there is stock in their fridge and they do have items on the shelves. Let's say I walk in there and the person says, right, you can, anything under £1 is, you can just put it in your trolley. It's like, it doesn't really add up. Anything under £1, just put it in your trolley. It doesn't really add up. So I go around trying to find things under £1 in Waitrose. Not a good example, I know. But trying to find things under £1 in Waitrose, I can find a tin of chopped tomatoes in there, a few things there, a few things there. All of a sudden my trolley is full up with things under £1. I go to the checkout and it adds up to, I don't know, £50. And I'm like, oh wow, it's £50. I thought it was all cheap stuff. And all of a sudden it all starts to add up. And it's similar to what happens when you think about free foods like potatoes, pasta. Yeah, one potato extra doesn't seem like a lot. The chances are, because they're quite bland foods, that you won't overeat them. But depending on your relationship with food, just like your relationship maybe with money, for example, if I was told you can get as much as you want in there for under £1, you might go, oh, I'll have that, it's 2-for-1 offer, or I'll have that as well, or I'll have that as well. All of a sudden it does start to add up. And then we're going, well, I'm following the rules, but it's not working. And that's because we're following rules and not principles. We're following rules and not principles. And this is why when you're empowered with knowing the principles of this is sometimes the difference between making a better informed decision yourself in terms of, okay, I would normally view this food as bad. I would normally view this food as healthy, but actually now I'm going to view it in the context of my whole diet so that I can be in control now rather than being told, well, this food's bad, this food's good. You're then able to make choices and respond differently rather than reacting based on a belief that you don't even know is true, you've just been told by someone else, which they got from maybe a book or something where it might just help someone stick to something. And that's fine for a certain period of time. Great stuff, Sue. So let's take some examples now. Let's look at sugar-free foods. Right, let's look at sugar-free foods. Sugar-free foods generally get a bad name, and sugar-free foods is such a big area Like, I can show you Greek total natural yogurt, which has just had the fat skimmed from it. So say take a fat-free product like that. The only difference is it's just got more yogurt poured into it to make up the 500 mil. So say there's a 500 mil pot, I've had to skim the fat away, now there's 400, I've had to put a bit more in, keep skimming away the fat. That's the only difference. So as a result, there will be a little bit more natural sugar from the milk. There will be a little bit more protein also. There will be a little bit more calcium. So you could argue in that case, a low-fat product like that could be better in terms of nutrient value, in terms of maybe it helps you eat less. But again, it's your relationship with food here. Let's take sugar-free products. Consider what the alternative is. If you're currently drinking fizzy drinks, full sugar drinks, and you switch to sugar-free drinks, and that saves you 200 calories a day, and that means you lose a pound a week, and over a year you lose a few stone. I know that's hypothetical. All of a sudden your inflammation has actually gone down, because fat around your organs can cause issues such as insulin resistance, for example, which can increase your risk of diabetes and all the consequences that come with that. So sometimes we're so focused on, oh yeah, but I don't want to have a sweetener, but then we're failing to consider that if nothing changes and we're not actually getting the results we want, that could be more pro-inflammatory, as to use some words that are used without really any knowledge behind by Instagrammers sometimes, than actually just losing the body fat and having the sweetener. And my point here is, just to end on this, because I could chat all day about this, hence why I'm going to do a whole talk on this a week on Wednesday. If you want to be in on that Comment Nutrition, I'll send you the link with the group you need to be in, to make sure you're in on that. Always consider what the alternative is here, just to give you some practical advice now. If today you're coming across a decision you have to make, and it's like, do I eat that? Do I eat this? But that, I heard eggs are high in cholesterol. You could always make a negative argument for any food going, yeah, but I heard eggs are high in cholesterol. I won't bother. I'll skip breakfast. Then I'm out and about, and it's cake and coffee. You know, I know people before who wouldn't eat an egg because of the cholesterol and because of something they read online about inflammation, but then will have a bottle of wine at night. Nothing against that, but we've got to consider, can we question these beliefs that we have when we know that, you know, alcohol is a toxin? Yet we've just heard from, and always question everyone, question me, like question everything you see in terms of nutrition, because a lot of the time people will say things and they won't even be able to back it up with where they've got it from. Which is part of the reason why we've also opened an education centre to help educate people better in this way, and essentially downloading my brain to help others, help more people as well. Anyway, I nearly walked past where we are. So, right, there we go. So, if you want to be in on that, do let me know. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.